listen. Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
There is no human being I'd rather be talking to right now than Trevor Story. Fact. I'm going to go deep with you. What have you learned about yourself? Because in the last few months, because I asked this because I've talked to Daniel Bard, friend of the program. He's going through sort of the same thing, and I was actually at his house. And he's like, I got to make sure I watch the game because I want to be a good teammate. Yeah. It's a weird existence though. So what have you learned about yourself?
I think more than anything, you just perspective. I think for me, it's baseball is it's the thing I love to do the most, and you just find through injuries and just a bunch of crazy things going on. For me, I've found that you got to go to a certain place mentally to come back from those things, and as you could tell with this one, this injury was kind of broke my spirit there in the beginning, and I think that's what it took for me to get to a certain spot mentally to be able to come back and create a lot of momentum with the recovery. And I think just that mental toughness, man, that's what I keep relying on. I have great mentors in that aspect, so without them and without that work, who knows?
Sometimes a moment where sometimes it's a gradual thing. Sometimes someone said something where it just hits. I'll give you an example. Tristan Casas had cited when you got together with him in the dugout last year as a moment that just hit for him. In this process, was there a moment that just hit for you, like you said, to get sort of past that, how it was that gutting thing?
I think it was, it wasn't like anything that someone said or, one certain thing. I think it was just, time with my family. At the very end of the day, that's what's most important, right? Those are the relationships that, mean the most to me. And I think being able to spend that time with them really, when I'm able to come back to the game, I'll be able to come at it with a different kind of freedom and just won't really let the game control me like that.
You felt it like you went through injuries before, and you thought you handled it well. But now you look back and say, that was nothing compared to what I had to do with this time, right?
Yeah. This one was challenging and on a whole nother level, from the mental side and the physical side. So, I believe that I will come back, much stronger mentally from this one, than any other one that I've had to.
What was it like? So you went out to California, right?
Yeah.
You haven't lived in California before, have you? Was your family out there with you?
Yeah, they came with me. We had to do that because we needed to be together. We needed each other's support, and that time with the boys is invaluable. So I had to take advantage of that and use that as a silver lining. And the time in Cali was, seemed long. It was 2.5 months out there, 3 months almost.
Did Rocky 3.
Yeah.
I think that was Rocky 3, right?
Yeah.
Where he goes out to LA.
Yeah, we had to, man. It was necessary, and I'm happy we did because of how I'm feeling now.
So, was there, like you said, it might not have been something someone said or a moment, but do you remember a day, and maybe I was out in California where you're like, okay, and you said the other day that you got more momentum physically, where okay, there we go. Instead of looking back, I'm looking forward. Do you remember a day like that?
Yeah, it's, early on in the PT, it was, pretty dark and grim. I couldn't even raise my arm, just pretty much had to reteach myself my mind and brain connection, or my mind body connection, to get that left arm working. it was I would say around like, everyone always told me around the 3-month mark is where you'll start to really feel better. And just for how, bad it was in the beginning, that's how good it's been lately. But I think there was there's a moment where you're like, all right, dude, pretty much F this. Like, I'm deciding. You have to make a decision to be positive, to show up every day and do all the stuff that you don't want to do. But just mentally, I decided that I'm coming back from this thing. Like, this thing, I'm not going to let this be the end of it. And I think more than anything, that had a lot to do with the recovery.
You hadn't made that, in hindsight, you hadn't made that decision. Like you said, it took a while to make that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I always, overall, you're like, yeah, I'm going to come back. And it's kind of a softer thing, not like a set and, you don't really like say that to yourself. But there comes a time where it's like I had to be very intentional about that. I had to be very intentional about, I'm sitting there meditating, looking myself in the mirror and, really just a lot of positive self-talk. And I think the mind loves that. And, a lot of times I think the mind doesn't know what's real when it comes to that, And I think that, the mental work is what really, I think, took it to the next level of recovery.
Did you have any help with that? Like, because you talked about meditation and things like that. Did you have any help with that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've had my mental coach for a long time, and we do our work, and just so thankful to have her. She's been amazing for me.
What's her name?
Her name is Danielle Martin.
Okay.
She's just, as good as it comes in the game, and I, it's times like this where you rely on those things, and you rely on your relationships, your people, and but being very intentional about it is what I would say helped me a lot.
So now you're around the team, and the impact, whether you come back in later in the year or not, as I mentioned the Cassis thing, you can impact. Like, that's the thing. Like, you've already seen that you can impact what happens with the 2024 Boston Red Sox. Which is a cool thing, and I think that you also have the history and the approach to do that. Mm-hmm. And I know that I'm saying things, but I think that shouldn't be lost on the next couple of months here, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a position that I've had to take on the last 2 years, and I think, more, don't get it twisted. The best way to help is on the field, and that's like obviously what I would rather be doing, but that's not the case. So the perspective part of it, like, I can sit here and feel sorry about myself, or I can, want people to feel sorry for me, but that's just not the way I'm built. And I think move on to the next thing, like whatever it is, man. If it's being a mentor, if it's helping guys, recovery things that I learned from playing in Colorado, little defensive stuff, offensive stuff, anything, base running, I'm all here for it. And
well, you're one of the only. There's not a lot of position players who have been in the game a long time, in the major leagues a long time, on this team. I mean, really, of the teams that I've covered, it's probably the least. And I use the 30-year-old thing as sort of a dividing line, which is unfair because 30 is an old number one. But you and you, Ref Snyder, it's like, but that's usually such a valuable thing, especially I think when the rubber hits the road. Because the rubber's going to hit the road, man. Like,
right,
in pennant races and things.
No doubt. Yeah. That's like you said, man, it's valuable, and if that's the value I can provide now, then that's what I'm about. This is about winning. It's not it's not about me. It's not about one certain individual on this team, and I think that's why it's been special. And guys like Duran, Rafaela, they're always coming up to me and asking questions, and I love that, man, because they're hungry and they as good as they are, they still want to learn. They still want to, better themselves as players. And I love it, man. And I love being in that position to do that. My time will come to share that success on the field with them.
So that said, the other day you had said, hey, possibly about coming back. I've been watching you running around the baseball field, which must be a fun thing.
Yeah.
To run around, not only Colorado, a place where you've had awesome moments, but just to run around a baseball field.
Yeah.
And field ground balls. Do you feel it? Do you feel like, well, you can say that, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But the excitement of having that word possibly,
yeah,
is pretty cool, right?
No, it really is. It's much needed for me running around here, and because you just get in the grind of PT, and baseball feels far away a lot of the time. And like I said, with the momentum and the work that we put in, we've earned to be able to be in this spot right now. And to be totally honest with you, it's hard for me to believe that I'm in this position right now because of how bad it was early. After surgery, just was not in good shape. And so, but like I said, as bad as it was early, that's how good it's been lately. And just good for my spirit, good for to be around the boys and have that camaraderie. And I needed it more than they did, for sure.
It's crazy that you could be playing baseball.
Yeah.
And on the biggest stage, I'm putting that best case scenario for you and the team, but it's crazy to think about that could happen in 2024.
Right. Yeah. I mean, initially, obviously, out for the season, that was the verdict, and I truly believe that. And then, especially after that first month, and then as we started progressing, we're looking at it man, you're kind of back on track now. So, team's playing well. This kind of looks like a situation where we could, you could play baseball this year. And like we've said, it's been, we're not going to do anything my body's not going to allow me to do. But I think by the grace of God, He's healed me in certain ways, spiritually and mentally, that, it hasn't been this way before. So I'm embracing that. I'm not running from that. I don't think we're doing anything outlandish here, or so I'm gonna keep embracing that. And it's been amazing to even say that I'm here right now.
Well, can I tell you the healing process just went up a tick because you just put on the baseballs and boring bracelets. So there you go. That's awesome.
That's right.
Thank you, man.